Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. I'm going to kick off this podcast with some channel and personal updates. Which should I start with? I'm going to start with personal. First off, I think I am almost done with RSV. So I have been fighting this now for about 4 weeks, and I would say I'm probably at about 90% health right now. I felt good enough this week that I was able to start working out again, which just to me is a big deal. It's a huge mood improver for me. So I'm feeling good that I'm finally turning the corner on that. Then from sort of a personal update / family updates, segueing, I guess, a little bit into channel update, you're going to see some more of Courtney in videos, I suspect, in the coming weeks, months. First off, this past week, she was in Jamaica doing some mission type work. Her church group went to Jamaica to build some low-income housing. And since that was sort of Courtney's specialty when she was in the Army, masonry and carpentry, she went along to do that. We got a lot of really cool pictures of her working. There's one, like she was working this sort of jackhammer, like smaller jackhammer thing. She was putting up some roofing, some corrugated steel roofing. But she got back this weekend, so we did a review video that will be coming up probably not this week, but the week after. And then she is taking some classes this semester out here in this neighborhood, as opposed to where she's living on the east side of Milwaukee. And that means that she'll be here probably sleeping over, once or twice a week. And that'll give us an opportunity to do some more videos. So if you are a Courtney fan, that's some good news for you. In terms of other videos that are upcoming, originally I had planned on this Monday to be another episode of the Keto Beginners series, but I kept kind of coming up with additional ideas and additional elements that I wanted to put into it, questions I wanted to answer, and I didn't feel that I had it fully baked yet. So I'm going to wait until next week for that. The final update regarding the channel, or kind of regarding the channel, is I am collaborating with Chipmunk Baking to come up with one of their next small batches, which is going to be a cookie sandwich, and it will be released on February 19th. We've been going back and forth. I've been giving them ideas, and they ship me samples, and I try it out, and I give them my feedback, and I've got 2 more cookies to taste, and I think they are very close to what I'm looking for. And then I'll get back to them, and then they'll release it on February 19th. So come on back on February 19th. That's a Sunday for the reveal of that. Oh, and one other thing that I guess isn't specifically related to this channel, but rather it's my other channel, Lean Body Mind. I'm gonna try and reboot that within the next week or two. Now, for those of you who maybe aren't aware, Lean Body Mind, my other channel, I kicked off about 2 years ago. And it was a situation where I think my ambition exceeded my capacity. And that's probably still the case, but I'm going to give it another shot. Lean Body Mind is really more of I guess it's kind of taking my previous career, which was in process excellence / continuous improvement, whatever you want to call it, Lean Six Sigma, and taking some of those tools and techniques out of the manufacturing environment and showing you how you can use them to make improvements in terms of your efficiency and happiness and effectiveness in life, and then also looking at, some other different elements that are just sort of the holistic, betterment, for lack of a better word. But, it could be book reviews on self-improvement or certain exercise equipment or perhaps supplements. What else could there be? Some of the 30-day challenges, I think, that really don't fall necessarily under the umbrella of keto or close enough to keto to really belong on this channel. Those will be there. Ultimately, what I want to get done, and this was my vision initially for that channel, was to create a series of explainer videos where I'm explaining certain lean concepts, and then through animated videos showing here's how you use them in your day-to-day life, whether that's how to meal plan or how to use visual management, or perhaps how to organize your pantry or your kitchen or things like that so that you can be more effective. Anyhow, I plan on rebooting that channel within the next week or two. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I got a handful of videos out there already. A lot of it is all sort of podcasty type stuff. So if you just enjoy listening to my voice or falling asleep to my voice, check it out. For my next topic, it's keto in the news, or kind of keto in the news. I'm going to make it keto in the news. And this is about Ozempic face. So I'm just going to read this article, or a portion of this article, to you. It's the weight loss drug people have dreamed of. Or is it? Diabetes drugs like semaglutide. Boy, I should probably look up how to pronounce these. I'm sure I'm going to get them wrong. Semaglutide? So diabetes drugs like semaglutide and tirzepatide, yeah, that's what it looks like, have taken the medical community by storm, helping not only to keep endocrine disorders at bay, but also showing promising signs of appetite control, improved insulin sensitivity, and, with both, weight loss. But the miraculous effects of this TikTok famous... Okay, my ads were reloading there and it was moving my text around. But the miraculous effects of this TikTok famous Ozempic injections come at a cost. So, side effects of taking Ozempic are reports of sagging skin, an older appearance and gaunt face are now following these hyper-popular weight loss injections. Then they quote Dr. Siegel here, who says, Ozempic is a great drug. It's the first weight loss drug I've seen that I think really works. It actually improves insulin, improves getting rid of sugar, it decreases hunger. The article then goes on to talk about the shortages of this drug because so many people are using it now. Other serious side effects could include increased risk for rare forms of thyroid tumors, vision changes, kidney problems, and gallbladder issues. And as I read about the good things that this drug does, I thought you could just substitute the word keto in there and not have some of these crazy side effects that are going on. I mean, people talk about the saggy skin and stuff. That's something that's going to happen when you lose weight rapidly. But I guess whenever I see these miracle drug sort of things, especially when somebody is using something off-label like this and creating shortages, it just sort of makes me shake my head a little bit because we already have a way to do this. We already have a way to achieve these same benefits. It's called reducing your carbs, doing keto. But I tell you what, I'm not going to judge. If any of you have tried this and had either great results or experienced bad results or side effects, I'd be curious to hear about it. Let me know down in the comments below. For the second half of this podcast, I want to cover a topic that I'm not especially happy about, and it revolves around last Friday's recipe video, the Parmesan rind puffs. So I release many of my videos early to my paid channel members. That's one of the perks of contributing to this channel and helping it out financially. Sometimes people get a video a day early, like this podcast. They'll get a day early. But very often they will get videos, especially cooking videos, a week, even 2 weeks early in some instances. And that was the case with the Parmesan rind puff video. So I'd release this early, and then last Tuesday night, so I released it a week ago Monday, I believe, and then Tuesday night, I'm playing around with my grandson Colton, and I get a text from Joe Stauffer at Two Crazy Ketos, and he's telling me that somebody had gotten out into their Facebook group and told them that Steve, that would be me, is copying their recipes because I guess 3 years ago they did a video showing that you can microwave Parmesan rinds and make them puffy. As I said in my video, I found out about this little hack by a book. I'd gone to Half Price Books, which is where I like getting my cookbooks because I like paying half price. And I saw this book, Mad Genius Tips, by Justin Chappell. And I used to be a subscriber to Food and Wine, and every month there would be a little, one-pager of some tip, trick, kitchen hack that he would have in there. So I thought, cool, I'll buy this book. And as I was flipping through this book, there was just this tiny little blurb. It was actually not even part of a full recipe. I think the full recipe was shredding Parmesan or grating Parmesan onto parchment paper and baking it with some seasonings to make crisps. But then there was like a little tiny blurb which said, you can use the rinds and make these puffs. So that's what I did. And I released this video early to my channel members, and one of my paid channel members, because that's the only people that could have seen it, went to Joe and, like a little tattletale trying to curry favor with the teacher, narked me out for this supposed copying of his recipe. And one of the things that I pride myself on is integrity. And anytime I say that word, I think of South Park, Integrity Farms. But I always give credit on a recipe. Anytime, even if it's just I was inspired by someone else, I mention it. I think that's the right thing to do. You can't just not make a recipe because somebody else made it or may have made it. I'm not going to get out and start searching the internet just in case someone else made a chaffle, so I don't accidentally copy them. That's not what I'm going to do. I mean, any recipe that can be made, I think, I can't say any, I would say 99.9% or more of any recipe that can be made has been made. And what everybody else does then is sort of derivative. We're putting our own spin on a recipe. I think there are maybe some instances where some people do copy and not give credit. But I also think there are a number of instances where two people who are creative just happen to stumble on to the same couple of ingredients that you throw together. That doesn't mean one copied the other. It's sort of like that, I forget what the theory is. The infinite monkey theory, maybe is what it's called, where they say if you've got an infinite number of monkeys and you give them an infinite number of time. I'm having a hard time with my words today. You give them an infinite amount of time, eventually one of them is going to type out the complete works of Shakespeare. And it's the same thing with recipes. So anyhow, Joe texted me. We texted back and forth a few times. This is the other thing too, and I mentioned this last week. I don't look at other keto channels as competition. And by that I don't mean like, well, there's no competition for me. What I mean is I believe the majority of us are working towards the same thing. We're on the same team. We're trying to support this lifestyle and promote this lifestyle. Now, I'll admit there are some out there that maybe do think this is a competition and you should badmouth each other and try and pit each other against one another. But I tend not to hang with those people. Joe, I consider a friend. I mean, we have each other's phone numbers. We text one another. So it was disappointing. It was disappointing to hear this from Joe. And I'm not disappointed in Joe. I'm disappointed that one of my channel members, who I would think are like my biggest fans, would accuse me of doing something like this, of plagiarizing someone's recipe and not giving them credit for it. So then, I released the video to the public on Friday, and I got a lot of comments like, oh, so-and-so did this first. A number of different channels were listed as people that had done it first. So I guess, Joe did it, Joe and Rachel on Two Crazy Ketos 3 years ago. Maria Emmerich, I guess, did it 2 years ago. The Keto Twins did it, I guess, a few months ago. I haven't seen any of these videos, by the way. And then there's the cookbook that I had, which was published in 2016, which is, where I found it. And Justin Chappelle says he found out about it from Richard Blaze. And I went back and I looked, and I had seen an article in January 2015 that mentioned Richard Blaze and this particular kitchen hack. So it's been around for a while. But as I said before, I think you can say that about pretty much every recipe. And if people are going to get in the habit of going to channels, whether that's mine or someone else's, and saying, so-and-so did this before you did it, I don't know what to say to that, other than, I guess I don't care. I mean, here are my options. I can either not care that there's a possibility that somebody did a recipe before I did it, and what I'm doing is either a derivative of what they did, or maybe it just is a coincidental same version of what they did. I'm not going to get out and Google and search YouTube for every single thing that I do just to make sure that no one else has done it so I don't get accused of plagiarism. So as I said, I can either just not care and keep doing what I'm doing, or I stop. And I'm not going to stop because I love doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep doing it. And it's my hope that you, my viewers, will be accepting of that, because just because you may have seen this particular recipe on another channel doesn't mean that all of my subscribers have seen that recipe on another channel. And my attitude is, if a video is worth making a recipe on, it's worth getting as much exposure as possible. And if that means multiple channels, great. And I'll say that if you get out on another channel and you see someone who made a recipe that looks an awful lot like one of my recipes and they didn't give me any credit, I don't care. That's fine. That's fine. If it's a good recipe, spread it. Let people make it. Let people share it. If they give me credit, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. Maybe they came up with it themselves just sort of spontaneously the same way I did. And I'll just finish by saying that we as a keto community get to deal with enough grief and BS from outside the keto world. All these people telling us everything we're doing wrong and how bad it is for us and all of that, that we don't need people creating additional friction or grief or discontent within our community. So I would ask that you not do that. And that is going to be it for this podcast. I hope I didn't end it on sort of a bummer note. I hope I kind of lifted it back up there at the end, because as a keto community, I think 99% of the keto community out there is pretty awesome. But, it's always just those few. There's those few that just cause trouble. And let's not pay attention to those people. I want to pay attention to the other 99% of you who are all just awesome. So, as always, I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching.